there, and welcome to my reflections on the story and the life of Jesus. And in today's video, we're going to look at the idea of overflow. So we pick up Jesus' story where Pharisees and Sadducees, they come to Jesus and they begin to watch the disciples and the people following Jesus, and they criticize them because they don't seem to be washing their hands before they eat. It's not out of hygiene or anything like that. It's a tradition that of the elders, a tradition of Jewish law. It's what has been imposed upon Jewish people, and the way they're living doesn't seem to fit the religious view of what a righteous person should be living like, and that everything should be from the outside in. And Jesus responds to say, look, what you guys seem to not quite get it, because sometimes you're disobeying God's laws so that for the sake of your own traditions, for the sake of your own laws. They'd become so focused on their traditions, they'd forgotten what the kingdom culture was like. And Jesus said to them what Isaiah prophesied was so true, that their words honor me. So they honor me with what they say, but their hearts are far from me. And quite honestly, that's a scary passage for me, because I think it's so easy for us to look like Christians. It looks so easy for us to do the Christian things, to make things that put things in our life that kind of make us look like we're following Jesus. But you see, Jesus has never really looked towards that for our salvation. Jesus doesn't work from the outside in. Jesus is all focused on the heart. You see, what Jesus tells his disciples after this encounter is that it's not what goes into your body that defiles you as a person. Of course, Jewish tradition said if you ate this and you did this and you ate it, then you would become defiled, and there would be a whole process around that. But Jesus said that doesn't make you defiled. What defiles you is what comes from the inside out. He says, out of the overflow of your heart, your mouth speaks. So the words that we say comes from a direct place in our heart. And that's quite scary. I mean, it's hectic to think that our heart is so exposed by the words that we use. When we grumble, when we're jealous, when we complain, or when we begin to speak life into people, it all comes from what's on the inside of our hearts. And that's what I love about Jesus. Jesus didn't come so that we could have a better behavior. Jesus came so that we could have a brand new heart. That's what the prophecies speak to, that he would remove our stony heart and he would give us a heart of flesh, one that desires to be obedient to God's will. And so when we come to Jesus, he wants to do a heart transplant. He's not looking to give us behavior modification, because he says that once your heart is right, your life will become right. And it's a process over time. So it means let's not criticize people from what they're doing on the outside of their life. Let's have a look at our own hearts, deal with what's in our own hearts, what's in the quietness of our heart when we're at home. And even now during lockdown, we've been at home so much, and there's time to reflect on our inner thoughts, that our inner hearts can come right, that we could ask Jesus to forgive us for the sins that we commit in our heart, the sins of greed, the sins of envy, the sin that people don't see on the outside of our life, but it becomes evident when we speak. Jesus also said, by the fruit of a tree you will determine whether the root is good or bad. Good roots, good fruits. Bad roots, bad fruits. And so my reflection upon this today is, let us deal with our inner world. Let us ask Jesus to highlight things in our heart that we need to keep bringing to him, that he can transform our hearts from the inside out. And that out of the overflow of a transformed heart, we may have a transformed life. Well, God bless you. Hope you've been enjoying these reflections. And if anything stands out to this story that you've read and you're tracking along with me, why don't you leave something in the comments? Let me know. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this story. Well, God bless you, and I'll see you again in the next video.